Hey, friends, welcome back to the Do Cool Shit podcast. I have another awesome guest today, Ashley Rath. And Ashley, I was just thinking about this. I was like, it's October, which is so appropriate because it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And that's such a big part of your story. And I was thinking about this after the fact, too, because it was a big part of Bonnie's story from the last episode. So I'm excited to have you here today and, share kind of your journey and go through how that has supported you really in doing cool shit in your life and where you're at now. Ashley and I met through a mutual friend,
Mhm.
Meredith,
Yep.
where I'm so grateful. I mean, I love Meredith in general, but I was so grateful for her because last summer, she's like, "Hey, I'm going to this show in St. Louis, and it's a whole bunch of women who just get on stage and tell their story, and it's called She Said Project, right?"
Huh? Yep.
Okay. And I was like, "Yeah, I'm totally down." And oh my God, my jaw was on the ground the whole time that I was there, just at everybody's courage and bravery and it having this room of hundreds, I don't know how many people were there.
It was like 3 or 400, yeah.
At least, yeah. And it was just like felt like this really nice, warm setting that you don't really get to be in that much
Yeah.
these days. And I knew when I started this podcast that I wanted you to be a guest and share your story because you very much aligns with what we're here for.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, tell tell us about your story. I don't usually do that, but you have it so laid out already, and then we can kind of
Was such a unique and not the way I thought my life would go kind of story. And then I had to get on stage, and when they told me I was going first, and I'm like petrified of public speaking, I was like shaking going out there. I like could not wait to get done so I could get like a glass of wine after because I was like dying. But so I'm trying my obviously like I'm 43, and so but I feel like the crux of my story kind of started at 39, when I got diagnosed with breast cancer. And we found out that it ended up being stage 2. So I had a lumpectomy, which showed that it slightly gotten into a lymph node, which is what pushed me into stage 2. And then I had chemo, well, the most aggressive chemo, so that was super fun. Got to go through everything and be bald, and I had blood clots, and I had blood transfusions, and I had all of the things that come with chemo. And um, then I had radiation. I had my ovaries and tubes taken out about a year later, and then I'm on like ongoing hormone suppression medicine. So I have like I kind of got the kitchen sink thrown at me. So that led me to like the whole cancer journey, you know, and we'll get into some of this, but like going through treatment is like you have this whole medical plan and like you have a process and you have countdowns of all the things you're gonna do, and you're like just kind of like knocking things off like one by one. And it's all great. And then you get out and you're like, holy shit, what just happened to me? And you're like, you totally just fucked up my life. And like, here you go, just like go out and like live a normal life. And so like out of that spawned like, things that like I found out like my relationship was really bad, and I just like cancer woke me up to that quite a bit. And then like it encouraged me to start a nonprofit. And then so like kind of all of those things mixed together is why one of my girlfriends recommended me to go speak at She Said, which is what led me to meet you. So it's a complicated story with lots of different like details, but so much better on the other side from it. So
yes. So this was for about 4 years ago.
I will be 4 years cancer free on November 1st, so I'm very excited about that.
That's coming up soon. I'm gonna be celebrating
It
on that day.
is.
That's amazing. So this was like you said, you talk about it after the fact and it's like, "Oh, we just went through this process," and it was like checking boxes, and I'm sure that there were so many thoughts and feelings and whatnot that a lot of people don't really talk about as they're going through
Mhm.
that process. Can we go back to, like, when you first got
Yeah.
diagnosed?
Yeah, I was, so, I mean, you think about it, it was 2021. We were kind of still in COVID-ish times, kind of. I It was, like, that March, I think I had, like, a little pain in my right breast, and I was kind of like, "I don't know, like, it's kinda" I don't know, it just, like, felt a little unsettling to me. And so I just, like, was like, "You know what, we'll get it looked at," and I saw my OB, and she was like, like, you're young, probably just a hormonal cyst, probably no big deal. Like, when your period comes, like, it'll go away." And I was like, "Well, I'm almost 40. It's like, that's mammogram time, like, let's just get one and see what it says," and then you go get a mammogram, and they're like, "Well, we've never seen your boobs before, so, like, if don't be surprised if we call you back." And I'm like, "Okay." And then they call me back, of course, and I'm just like, "Okay," and that leads to, "Well, you should get an ultrasound." And that's when I was like, and everybody around me is like, we just have, like, one more step to hear that you're okay. It's just, like, one more step to just get to the point to know that you're okay." And I was like, I just had, like, a feeling. I was like, "I don't know. I don't know if it's okay." And, um, and this whole process probably took, like, probably longer than it should. I know people get diagnosed within days, and it took weeks, right? Just
Mm.
part of me, like, delayed on scheduling my mammogram too, because I was just a little like, "Oh, I don't know, it's, like, really scary." And, um, so I get an ultrasound, and it was, like, during that when he was like, "We want a biopsy," and I just, like, broke down. And so, like, I was taking my kids on a spring break trip the following week, and so we're like, "Okay, let's do the biopsy after that." And then he had the biopsy. It's actually incredibly painful. Like, it's not nice. They give you some, like, lidocaine, actually, I'm like, "This booby," lidocaine shot, and, like, get in there and, you know, take out some tissue and test it. And
Yeah.
so a few days later, if that was, like, a Monday, it was, like, a Thursday night, like, at 8 p.m. when I got, like, a Mark chart message that was, like, it just read, like, invasive ductal carcinoma, and I'm like, it's 8 p.m. at night, there's no doctors, like, I didn't get a phone call until the next morning, but, like, I read that and I was like, "That's a really strange way to say you're okay." I was just like,
Ugh.
and then did, like, one Google search, and I just, like, broke down, and I'm pretty sure, like, I downed a bottle of wine and, like, cried myself to sleep that night. And, like, my kids were there, my parents happened to be in town because they were helping me work on my house. But it was just like, I didn't know anybody that, like, I knew a couple people that had cancer that passed, and so for me, I was just like, "I got cancer, I'm gonna die." And that was, like, the first thought. My kids were I have 2 girls, they were 6 and 8 at the time, and I just was like, I can't believe this." And I, kind of, like, prided myself on, like, I've been working out since I was 30. I started CrossFit at 30, and I just felt like I was pretty healthy. And so, to have that happen, like, that was just jarring, and then to get it on a My Chart message and, like, have no guidance whatsoever, yeah, it was the worst. I've done a lot of therapy and even, like, EMDR on that day to, like, be able to talk about it and, like, be okay.
Ye Oh my god, I'm like, you if you're not watching this on video, I'm like, "Wait, a what?" But, like, I can't believe that that was just like, "Oh, let me throw it in the chart," and not.
Yeah. Yeah, and, like, I get it, like, they want people to get results really quickly, but I feel like there are certain things we shouldn't release until we have a doctor look at it and call you.
Yeah, because obviously the first thing anyone's gonna do is hop on Google and then, take from personal experience of what they know and
Yeah,
catastrophize.
yeah. Well, and there's all these numbers that come through, like, your pathology report that are like, it had, like, a Nottingham score of this, and it was this size, and it was grade 3, and, like, everything I was looking at, like, with, like, a Nottingham score of, like, 9 and a grade 3, it was like, "This is incredibly aggressive," and I was like, "Ah!" Like, this is where it ends, like, I don't really know what else to do.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, somebody called me, like, 8:30 the next day, and it was, like, a nurse navigator who kind of, like, got me started in the process. But again,
Oh my
it was a
god.
rough night. It was a very rough night.
Yeah, slightly traumatizing. So, did you tell your parents right away? Did you
Mm.
Okay,
Yeah, I mean, they were kinda there when I opened the message, and I think I
okay.
just crying, and I just, like, handed them my phone and was just like, "I don't even know what to do," and then my kids are kind of like, "What's wrong?" And I'm trying to just, like, not even talk to them at that point because I just don't even know what to say, and, like, I didn't tell them that night. I think I waited a couple more days, but, um, so, like, "Why is mommy drinking wine and crying on the bathroom floor? I don't really know what's going on."
Yeah, there's no manual on how to handle that, right?
Yeah. 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 You just I don't know. You do what you can in the moment to just get through the night, and I don't know. A lot of cancer is just, like, getting through the next day, honestly. Like, it all is just, like, what one thing can you do to just keep moving throughout the day? Because it's a mind fuck for sure.
Yeah, that's what I definitely wanted to talk about more is, through the when how long was it from diagnosis to when they said, "Hey, you're in remission"?
So I was diagnosed April 1st of that year, and November 1st was my cancer-free. And for some reason, everything always happens on the 1st for me, like, I finished chemo on October 1st, like, but, like, I had to so if I did a lumpectomy, like, a lot of women, like, I had the option, right? You do get a choice of, like, if you wanna do a mastectomy or you can do a well, I say that, like, you have recommendations from doctors, right? And if because mine was, like, in one spot, because it was, like, 2.5 centimeters, because of all of these different things, because of the pathology, they were like, "You can get a mastectomy, but we recommend a lumpectomy." And so there are women who obviously, if it's bigger and more spread, like, people are amputating breasts out here, right? Like, it's ridiculous. And, because cancer is so widespread, especially breast cancer is so widespread. But um, so I had a lumpectomy, and then that was, like, at the end of April that year. They didn't get clear margins, which just means that, like, right, there was a little bit of cancer tissues left on the edge of the tumor, like, whatever they cut out, there were some cells left. Um, but instead of, like, doing another surgery or re-excision right away, we did chemo, and then we did another re-excision after chemo was done. And that's when we got clear margins, and so technically, like, that clear margin day, which was surgery was November 1st, that was my, cancer free, so whatever that was, April to November?
Okay.
But
Okay.
that wasn't even the end, right? Because I still had, like, radiation that lasted the whole month of December, and then I had a surgery, like, the following March, and then I get to be on lovely hormone medication well, not forever, but for at least the next year and a half, so
Yeah. Yeah, so you mentioned that so much of the process is just kind of moving through it.
yeah.
What were some of the things that helped you to be able to move through it?
Yeah, I mean, so I did my chemo is called, like, AC Taxol, so it's, like, Adriamycin, which ironically is nicknamed the Red Devil. So, like, they literally, like, walk up to you in a hazmat suit with a red syringe, like, a syringe of red liquid, and, like, that's what they're injecting into your body, right? And so they it's pretty fucking scary, and then if
Yeah.
they, like, if they spill it next to you, I had somebody like, spilled next to me, and, like, they had to, like, evacuate the area, but I'm like, "You're putting it into my body, okay." Um, so I had AC Taxol, which I know there was a girl from college I knew that had done the same chemo, and she kept being like, on day, like, 3, 4 of after treatment, you're gonna be, like, on your ass, and you're gonna be laid up in bed, and so I was like, "This is 5 months of chemo," and I'm like, "I'm just gonna take leave from work." So I took 6 months off of work, which I think was incredibly helpful. It just allowed me to be, like, more in tune with my body and, like, how it was feeling and how it was, like, reacting to chemo and how to it just allowed me to take care of myself and my kids at that time. But, like, what kept me going, like, I am super into fitness, and, like, I was really hardcore into CrossFit, and I had so the AC Taxol or the AC was, like, the first portion, and that was, like, I think that was 4 rounds. It was, like, every other week you would get treatment, and then the Taxol was, like, 12 weeks every week. And so for the first drug, because it was kinda still COVID-y-ish times, they were like, "We don't really want you to go anywhere." I was at a CrossFit gym here in St. Louis where, like, my coach she came to my house to, like, work out with me when I, like, couldn't go to the gym. Um, and so but then when I was cleared to go to the gym, like, I was at the gym, I was lifting weights, I was out walking, like, I just was, like, dead set on, "I'm gonna move my body. This is the only thing that makes me feel normal. This is the only thing that keeps my, like, anxiety in check." So, like, working out, like, hands down was, like, my go-to to keep me sane during that time. So,
Yeah, I love that. And I'm curious if because you had been working out and done it in such intense ways, did
mhm.
you have were you able to draw parallels through treatment? Like, did that help you mentally in any way?
Yeah, I might again, I don't it's not gonna be the same for everybody, right? But, like, every body is going to process these drugs differently, but, like, we used to joke that CrossFit made me like a chemo fighting ninja because, like, I felt pretty good. So, like, I think we would go through a treatment and I would get to that 3 or 4 day mark and we'd be like, "Okay, I'm gonna crash," and then I didn't. And then I'd be like, "Okay." So then I'd, like, go for the next treatment, and then I'd be like, "Okay, this is the time we're gonna crash, like, we're definitely gonna crash now." And then, like, it just, like we kept going and, like, I just wasn't crashing. So I just, like, kept doing what I was doing, like, I I mean, we're talking, like, I can't have liquid IV to this day because I was, like, hydrating so much at that time, but, like, I have, like now I, like my mind associates it with chemo, so, like,
Yeah.
liquid IV, and I'm like, "Ugh." Um, but, like, I was like, "Let's get this shit out of my body, so let's, like, hydrate and pee it out, and then, like, let's work out." And so, that seemed to be working, and I just kept doing that, and I think it having been really active before, I think really helped me a lot through it, so
Yeah, it sounds like you really, really leaned into the things that you knew supported you before, and then also just it sounds like those were really supportive for you
yeah,
during as
yeah,
well.
yeah.
Did you ever have that crash that you were kind of expecting?
Not
Okay.
really, which was, like, crazy, and I there was a coworker who he would text me, like, once a week and be like, "How's your vacation going?" And I would be like, "Fuck you. You can have this vacation."
Yeah.
Uh, but, like so I never had, like, a formal, like they give you, like, a combination of, like, nausea medicine, so you get, like, steroids with treatment, and then you get, nausea medicine, and then, like, a couple pills you can, like, alternate at home, and so, like, I would sometimes be like, "Oh, I feel like I ate something bad," and then I'd be like, "No, that's actually probably, like, the chemo," but I think the things that, like, I got pretty anemic, and so at one point I needed a blood transfusion. I had a blood clot in my neck, I had to get a port, um, which, I mean, it's a foreign object in your body, and it has, like, a line that comes up through your neck, and so, like, I had a blood clot in my neck. And then by the end of chemo, like, I will say that, like, my resting heart rate was probably, like, 110 or something ridiculous. And so, like, if I would load a barbell, it'd be, like, 170. So, like, toward the end, I was just like, "Okay, we're just gonna do some light deadlifts or something." So, like, I was still moving, but we just, like, had to modify as we went along. So but I never actually had, like, a formal, like, I feel like ass, I'm laying in bed for days on end somehow, magically. I
Yeah.
don't know.
That's a pleasant
Yeah. Yeah,
surprise.
I was pretty damn shocked.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know. I don't know why, but, like, I'm thankful for that for sure.
Yeah. What were the most challenging parts of treatment for you?
I mean, losing my hair, that was really
Mm,
hard. Like, like, the time where, like, you couldn't really hide anymore that up until that point, like, nobody knew,
mm.
that I was cancer patient in the public, and then when you're bald and, like, I was bald in St. Louis in July and August, so it's, like, really hot, so, like, I didn't really wanna wear a wig or scarves or anything, so I just walked around bald, and it's just, the stares that you get, and that was always kinda fun, like, my kids were starting at a new school at that time, and I remember being, like, meet the teacher night, and I was on a heart monitor, and so, like, I was, like, wired up and bald. I'm, like, going in to meet the teacher like, "Hi." So, I mean, it's like and again, that's all, like, the physical side. I mean, the physically, I was able to move, being bald was hard. I mean, during that time, like, it's the mindfuck of thinking that it's, like, gonna come back was probably, like, my biggest fear. So, like, every time I was, like, so diligent about, like, trying to notice if anything felt off in my body or, like, doing, like, self breast exams even, and then I'd be like, "Oh my god, do I feel another lump? I think I feel another lump," and, like, so we would, like, get another scan, and, that, like, fear, like, 4 years out, it's got a lot better, but, like, that was probably the worst part of it all, like, through treatment and then, like, the year after treatment. So, like, just, like, the complete mind fuck of, like, is it gone? Is it gonna come back? When's it gonna come back? Like, because it's I mean, it's a 1 in 3 chance that it comes back. So, like, that's a really fucking high stat to live with, and I have friends who are metastatic, and, like, I have friends who have passed, and, like, it's a mind fuck.
Yeah, I can imagine. There's no control there, and I would imagine, like you said, there's just, like, this underlying fear that's probably present
Mhm.
often?
It's better now,
Yeah.
now it's better, but for the whole, like, year after, I mean, I'd be like, "Oh, there's, like, a weird pain in my neck," or "I've got a headache that lasts too long," or I've just, like, anything, you're just, like, constantly overanalyzing your body and, like, "Fuck, it's back."
Yeah.
Like, that's the real hard part, so
Yeah, I could only imagine. So, when those thoughts would come up, was there, like, a dialogue that you would have with yourself or a checklist or anything that you would do?
I mean, I don't know, not really. Um, I did have, so I was, like, part of another nonprofit that was a fitness nonprofit at that time. They're gone now, but we had access to what it was a mental performance coach, and so I would talk to her regularly, and she would just be like, "We can't control if cancer is gonna come back, like, we have no control." She was like, "So, like, what can you control?" So she would always, like, try and, like, bring it back to, like, "What are the things that you can control? Let's focus on those things." Or, like, "Let's focus on, like, what was a win for today? Like, what were 3 positive things that happened today?" And so she was always trying to kind of, like, reframe and, like, redirect the mindset to just be like, "Okay, but, like, what can you control? And,
Mm.
like, what good things are happening?" And so it was always a nice way to try and distract, and it's really hard, but, like, we tried. And then obviously, like, therapy and, like, I tried to, like, battle it from all angles.
Yeah, that's okay, so that's a great transition into your nonprofit, so which I
Yeah.
just absolutely love the name of, and it's called Rebuild a Bitch or Rebuild
Mhm,
a Bee,
mhm,
and I want you to talk about this because I love that you started this. I know, I mean, unfortunately, a lot of women who have been diagnosed with breast cancer or have familial history of it, and it's like, going through this alone is something I always hear that's not the way to do it. So having a community of people to support you,
mhm.
and you guys really focus on mental, physical, and yeah, I don't need to talk about you talk about it.
No, like I said, I had access to that mental performance coach, and I thought she was, like, amazing. And as the other nonprofit we were a part of, like, dissolved, which was, like, a whole disappointing situation in and of
Yeah.
itself, uh, I just kept being like, "Well, I really wanna do something." And at the time, that mental performance coach was like, "I'm putting together this program." It's like a 10-week program for people, and I was like, "Ooh, we should just get people into that program. Like, we should just pay for people to go to that program." And, like, that was, like, the whole idea behind that concept. She ended up taking some, like, personal time to herself, so then we were just kind of like, "Okay, well, surely there's other people that kind of do similar work, right?" So I did a lot of research, and I was like, we found multiple they're kind of like cancer life coaches, right? So it's not therapy, but it's like coaching. And so we started with mental health because, once you get through it and you're kind of like tossed out of the system, that's when your big like, "What the fuck did I just go through?" happen. and you're like, "How do I even, like, deal with life now?" Like, because you can't really go back to normal because you're not the same person anymore. Like, it's in like, one of the coaches has said, like she quotes somebody, I forgot the name, but it's like, "You can't get better in the life that you got sick in," or something along those lines.
Yeah.
So it was just all about, like, we wanted to help people with, like, their mindset first, and so we started there, and we've been around since April of 2023. Um, Everybody on the board is breast cancer survivor. We started mental health because that's where we were all found to be, like, the first thing we struggle with, but then as a lot of us progress in survivorship, we were like, "Well, what else do we struggle with?" And so then we added on intimacy coaching earlier this year, and, like, for us, that's about, like, learning to love your body again and, like, what your body, like, likes and what is pleasure, and, like, it's okay to, like, think about those things, and so we have a few intimacy coaches now. So it's kind of, like, gradually, like, growing, and I think we're trying to focus more on, like, what are some of the niche things that, like, people don't talk about as much, right? Like, mental health, intimacy, um, we've had some workshops even on, like, pelvic floor therapy because that's, like, another thing that's, like, not as widely talked about. So we're just trying to, like, hit on, like, areas that, like, maybe women don't have as much support.
Yeah, I love that, and probably in secret, a lot of shame around too.
Mhm.
I'd imagine, especially with your body and intimacy, that's such a huge
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, for me, it's like I've been 43 years old, and I've been postmenopausal for years now, and, like, nobody told me about all the stuff that would come along with that. They were all worried about my chance of heart disease, and I'm over here like, I mean, TMI, like, I get a dry vagina from menopause, like, that fucking sucks. Like,
Yeah,
where are the people talking about that? Um, so it's just, like, bringing some of that stuff to light because it's, like, okay to talk about, and we all know that, like, women's healthcare has been underserved for, like, a very long time, and, um, especially, like, all of the menopausal symptoms. So it's really about, like, how do I adjust and, like, you don't have to have a shitty sex life. You can have a good sex life. You don't have to, like, feel like you're stuck with what you've been given. Like, you can, like, there are tactics and ways to, like, make it better. So,
yeah,
that's
I
what it's
love
all
that.
about.
I love it. I always tell, I mean, I find it mostly with women that they go, "Well, TMI," but I'm like, "No, no, no, that I is the important stuff. We need to talk about this shit because
Yeah,
it's if you hold it inside, it's never gonna
yeah,
get better. It's just like almost festers inside." So I love that
yeah, and
you're
it's not
talking.
taboo anymore. Like, it's not taboo anymore. Like, it just is, like, there's a book called Next Level by Stacey Sims, and I remember getting that, like, 6 months after I had my ovaries taken out. So, like, chemo put me in, like, medically induced menopause, and then I had surgery, and that made it permanent. And then 6 months after I had my ovaries out, I was like, "I hate everything. I hate my kids. I hate life. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it." And then I got this book, and I was just like, "Well, that's me, and that's me, and that's me." And I was like, "Damn it, this is because of menopause." I was like, "Good." And, it's like, if I had just, like, again, my doctor was so concerned about my chance of, like, heart disease, does suck. I do have, like, high cholesterol thanks to that, which is annoying, but, I was like, "What about, like, everything else that you didn't tell me that I might have to deal with now because I don't have ovaries?" Like, what the hell?
Yeah, and just having a high quality of life and living this life that you
Mhm. Yeah.
especially after facing potentially losing it.
Yeah.
So,
Well, and that's like I mean, that's it's treatment has gotten better, so, like, the stats do suck, but women are living longer post breast cancer treatment, and so then we have to live longer with the post-treatment symptoms. We have to take care of those.
yeah, yes, please. Yes, let's do more of that.
Yeah.
Were there what I'm imagining, like, your identity has kinda shifted. Do you ever think about your life as, like, pre-breast cancer, post-breast
Mhm. All
cancer?
the time. Like, I feel like I've lived, like, a couple different lives in the last 5 years, like, it's life is my life doesn't look anything like it looked before, it's completely different. Like,
Okay,
I
say
lived
more about
somewhere yeah,
that, yeah.
like, I moved, I got engaged, I got married, I left that marriage, like like, and I've been on my own ever since, like, I mean, all in the span of 5 years, there was, like, COVID, cancer, marriage, divorce, like, moving, like, just basically restarting my life in the last 5 years altogether, so but, like, wouldn't change any of it, like, ever. Like, I wouldn't even change the fact that I got cancer because I honestly think that cancer was, like, a really big fucking wake-up call for me to be like, "Stop stop focusing on things that are not good for you, and, like, just, like, focus on yourself." And so, I'm grateful for that. But, yeah, it's totally different.
Yeah, that's a very powerful statement too, where it's like arguably like really shitty thing that would happen and nobody wishes that upon anybody. And being able to use your experience to, like find out more about yourself and have a better relationship with yourself and
Yeah,
do things that light you up in life.
yeah, yeah. It's I've it's made me say yes to a lot more things, like, things that I would have been like, I don't know." Now I'm just like, "Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure." Like, why not?
Why
Like,
not?
why not?
Like, in those circumstances, and you don't have to get detailed in them, but what would have held you back from saying yes before?
I think that I was so worried about, like, everybody else and, like, in some ways, like and that was my 2nd marriage, but he was actually emotionally abusive, and so there was a lot of, like, him in the back of my mind that would I think some of, like, his insecurities would, like, encourage me to, like, not do certain things, um, but, like, I knew that, like, I got cancer. I couldn't pinpoint it at the time, but I was like, "I didn't get cancer for absolutely no reason. I got cancer for some reason, and I need to, like, do something with it." So I think there's, like, the aspect of, like, relationship, like, pressure, and then, like, I have 2 kids. I mean, they're 10 and 13 now, but, like, I always would be, like, doing everything for them, but now sometimes I'm like, "Well, guys, I'm gonna go to the gym. You're gonna stay at home, and I'll be back, and I'll take you to your thing later, but, like, I gotta go do my thing first." So, it's like I didn't really have a lot of balance because a lot of what I did was just for everybody else. It felt like back then, so
And so now you prioritize yourself a little bit more?
I do.
And I'm
Well,
like, for the people in the back, how has that helped you?
it's so much better, like, I was telling a girlfriend that I'm just like, I'm the happiest I've been in a really long time, and, like, I'm traveling to places I wanna go to. I like, this year, I went on this, like, yoga retreat to Belize that I always wanted to go to, like, I did a boudoir shoot that I've always wanted to do, like, I started doing powerlifting meets, and, like, I probably would never have made time or, like, done that before, like, I'm just, like, doing all the things that I want to do. Still in mind, like, I have kids, I still have to take care of them, but, like, I'm still doing all the things I wanna do.
Oh, yeah. Well,
If they get to do what they want, I get to do what I want.
yeah, I also would guess that they're seeing you, like, you're role modeling what it's like to take care of yourself, and that's what I always have conversations with moms about is, there's time and place in your life where you're probably not gonna be at the top of your priority list,
Yeah.
very easily fall to the bottom, and you want
Yep.
your kids to have, everything, and you want your kids to be the most important people in their life, so you
Yeah.
doing it.
Yeah, I know, my youngest would be like, "You're never getting another boyfriend ever again." And I'm like, "Okay."
Okay, fine.
Needs another ears, but okay.
Yeah. Yeah, we got tools, it's okay. Oh my gosh. But with saying yes to all of these things, traveling or lifting, what are some things that you've discovered about yourself that you didn't know?
Goodness. I mean, I like, throughout everything and just, like, I always thought I was a relatively resilient person, but, like, I know that I'm, like, really resilient. Like, I know that I don't need anybody else to I just need my kids, right? Like, I don't need anybody to take care of me. I take care of myself. Um, I'm a lot stronger than I probably gave myself credit for in the past, and so I'm just really grateful for that, so
Do you go into, like, if hard things occur in your life, do you draw parallels and you're like, "Well, I did this." Like, that is the
yeah,
hardest.
sometimes when work gets stressful, I'm just like, "Well, it's not cancer, it's fine, we're fine, guys."
I
That
mean,
was like my MO for,
yeah,
like, a
I
long.
mean, it's funny, but this is something where everybody has, like, different levels of hard.
Mhm,
And, if you're a level 10 of hard, your level 10 of hard's different than my level 10 of hard. I've never gone through cancer. So, it almost, like, stretches where your edges are
mhm,
at, and you're like,
that's a
"I
good way.
know that I've done that." And if you're, something challenging at stressful, whatever, at work, you're like, "Okay, well, on this level of 1 to
Yeah,
10, this is like a 3. This is the
yeah,
end of the world is not close."
right. Well, and I think the other part is, like, um so, like, recently I had, like I so annually I get an MRI and a mammogram, so I get something every 6 months, and I had my annual MRI in September, and they messaged me, like, the next day, and they're like, "There's a spot on your left side we wanna look at," and I was like, "What?" And, like, I was, like, immediately, like, it just, like, takes your mind, like, right back to, like, where you were, and, so then I just was like, thankfully, like, my work is really great, but I was like, "I gotta take the afternoon off. I cannot focus." So there's something to be said about, like, we say, like, in cancer community, like, sometimes the only way through it is through it, and so, like, if I have to go sit and cry for an hour because that's the news that I just got, and thank God everything was okay, but, like, I feel like I have a good way now, even, like, through, like, a lot of therapy and stuff of, like, just feel the feelings, like, it's okay to feel the feelings, like, you don't need to hold them back, like and so I'll just go and I'll just cry, and then I'll get up and be like, "Okay, like, what's something positive I can do?" Like, go get a pedicure. I think that's what I did. I cried for, like, an hour, and then I went and got a pedicure. I was like, "It's gonna be okay. Whatever it is, it's gonna be okay." But, like, I feel like that's my other big takeaway is just, like, you gotta fucking go through it, and it sucks, but y it's okay to, like, go through it.
I wanna put that on a bumper sticker. It's the hardest thing. I mean, like, feeling those feelings, it's shitty. It's like and that's why so much human experience is people avoid feeling hard feelings. And when you do that, they don't go away. They just b burrow deeper in you.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
what, in, like, your nonprofit or other people going through treatment or just people in general that you run across that are not allowing themselves to feel the feelings.
I
What
mean
what advice would you give them?
I mean, um, we used so one of the, like, coaches at the old nonprofit that I worked with would always she called it a mind wad because in CrossFit, everything's like a wad, and she was like, "Just set a timer and go cry for 5 minutes, and then, just, like, set a timer for it." Like, you don't have to, like, wallow in it. There was another coach, what did she say? She was like, "The longer you talk about an emotion, it's like the longer your body thinks you're in that emotion."
Mm,
So, like, if you're, like, really pissed or you're, like, really sad and, like, you just keep talking about it, like, your body's gonna think you're still in it.
yeah.
So, like, for me, I again, like, I think it's not easy, but it's just, like, feel it and then find something positive, right?
Mhm.
And or, like, I try and look back and be like, "Well, if there is something on my left side, like, okay, well, I beat cancer once, like, like, if I have to do it again, like, I'll do it again. I don't wanna do it again, but, like, um so I think it's just about, like, it's okay to be vulnerable, like, you're not like, if anything else, like, I think holding it all in and causing your body that additional stress is just gonna make it worse, like, I'm a firm believer, and I honestly, like So my cancer was progesterone positive only, which is like 2% of women who get invasive ductal carcinoma have just progesterone in their tumor. Like, it's usually like estrogen and progesterone, or it's like triple negative or triple positive, or it's just like HER2. But like me, my doctor's like, there really aren't any studies on you. So like we don't really know what caused your cancer, which is why I got treatment for triple negative, but we also took out my ovary. And so like I got everything.
Yeah.
Um, so like I firmly believe looking back at, like, where I was at the time of my diagnosis, that a lot of, like, my internal stress and anxiety was a contributing factor, you know? Like, I was also like, it was COVID, I was drinking too much, but, like, where I was relationship-wise was causing, like, an immense amount of stress on me. So, like, that's why I try not to, like, hold anything in anymore because I'm just like, well, I mean, it's not I try and avoid stressful people and stressful situations, um, and then I just, like, let it all out.
Yeah. I yeah, fuck those people. Um,
Exactly.
but I no, I agree. I think that it's so funny, not haha funny, but funny how people will, you avoid feeling sad or disappointed or angry or whatever it is, and then you shove it deep down inside, you go do something else to feel something temporarily, but that stress internally, what that stress does is so much worse. So,
Mhm.
yeah, I like to say feel it to heal it,
I
and
agreed. I feel like there's a lot of just, like you just have to, like, sit with it as much as it sucks, and, like, I mean, I would say the same thing about, like, relationships for me, like, I got divorced the first time, and then I was, like, on a dating app right away, and then, like, that's when I met the second guy, and, like, he and I would break up and get back together, but every time we break up, I'd get on a dating app, and I'm like, "Ashley, why didn't you just sit by your fucking self for a while? Like, stop, you don't need to go get into a relationship, you don't need to date a guy, like, sit with your fucking self." And now that I've been sitting with myself for, like, 2 years, I'm like, "Oh, actually, this is really nice.
you
Why
like
didn't I just do
yourself
this?"
now. You
Yeah.
like yourself. Oh my
Sit with
god,
your
what a yeah, well, I mean, like, so much there for sure, but I think that there's, like when you can learn what when you can learn to like yourself, which is scary how many people don't,
Mhm.
really are not allowing themselves to sit with themselves because they don't like who they are, they don't like what they do, or they whatever, but when you can sit with yourself when you sit with your fucking self, that's another bumper sticker.
Sit with your fucking self.
It's uncomfortable, it feels weird, especially
Yeah.
in the beginning, but the more that you do it, it's like the more you learn about yourself, which is
Mhm.
cool, the more you live in alignment, which is cool, the more
Mhm.
confident you get, the more resilient you get, the stronger you get, and it's like, "Oh, I like myself. What
Yeah.
a great."
Not to mention, like, your nervous system is just, like, chill. Like,
Oh
I
my
feel like
god.
I just get to be, like, chill all the time because there's nobody around, like, ruining my day. And I'm just like which is great for, like, me trying to keep cancer away.
Oh my god. Being regulated is it's the gift that keeps on giving, but no, but, like, I think so many people don't know what that feels like, and what I would say too is when you know how to downregulate, when you can bring those into your day to day, like, it doesn't really matter if nobody else is gonna fuck with you because you
Yeah.
meh.
Yeah.
So
I know. I get to come and be in my own peace, and it's fine.
oh. So your daughters who were like pretty they're still young-ish.
Yeah.
I'm curious, so my mom had breast cancer. And
Okay.
I was about 12 when she was diagnosed. And I, as an almost 40-year-old, am like working through so much stuff of that now. But I'm
Mhm.
curious how you approach that with your daughters. Like,
Yeah.
what conversations did you have?
I mean, I was just pretty open with them, right? Like, they would ask me if I was gonna be okay, and I would be like, "I'm gonna do everything that I need to do to try and be okay." And, like, I didn't really know if I was gonna be okay, but all I could just be was like, "I'm gonna do everything I possibly can to just be here and be around for you guys." And, I mean, I'm an open book with them. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. It's probably sometimes bad, but, like, they got to see all of the ups and downs, and they got to my youngest, when your hair is falling out for the first time and, like, we shaved it, and then a couple days later, it was, like, really coming out. She used a lint roller on my head, and, like, that's how you got, like, the extra hair out, and, like or when it was falling out, she would, like, grab it and be like, "Look," and I was like, "Oh, that's you think that's fucking funny that you can pull my hair out? Okay. Let's shave your head and see how you feel." Um, but, I mean, again, they I don't know. I've always been open with them, and we're kinda like little 3 amigas now, and, um, I try not to, like, loop them into, like I try to keep them protected from, like, any, like, scan anxiety that I have,
Mhm.
and try and, like, which is why, like, the other day, I took a half day at work and was like, "I'm just gonna go process this because they'll be home at 3, and I need to be in a better spot for them."
Yeah.
Try and process as much as I can, like, not with them, but also just very, very open with them about, like, if I'm going through something, because I want them to be able to, like, tell me if they are too, and then also, like, if I was diagnosed at 39, they can start getting mammograms at 29 because
Mhm.
it's, like, 10 years prior. Um, just being very open with them. I will say that was around the time my oldest, she would kill me, and, like, not that she ever is gonna watch podcasts or listen to a podcast, but when she started getting, like, breast buds, she was like, "I have a lump," and I was like, "Oh, shit." I was like, "I think you're okay. I think it's just boobies coming out." It's like, "Oh." Uh, but then also, like, I mean, therapy is a very, like, open concept with us, and so, like, my youngest goes to a therapist, and, they know that they can always talk to somebody if they need to too, so.
Yeah. I love that. I mean, you being vulnerable with yourself, processing through things so then you could be in a better place when you communicate with them. And therapy is always helpful, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, it can't really hurt to talk about it, right? So,
I think if we speak things out loud, it automatically is empowering.
yeah. Well, it's like the release you get even when you cry, right? Like, it releases so much when you do.
Do you have any advice for anybody that is newly diagnosed or newly through the end of treatment or in the process kind of where you are at where you're still kind of like in the recovery and doing all the things?
Yeah, I mean, I think, like, it's really critical, like, when you're going through it to find somebody kinda like you, find a community of sorts. There's lots of different there are nonprofits that do, like, mentorship, and they'll pair you with somebody who has your same diagnosis. Like, there's a lot of different resources out there, and also like, that's probably, like, a very critical 'cause it just having somebody who's either, like, been through it right before you or just, like, is finishing up treatment while you're getting started, like, there's something so, like, reassuring to talk to somebody who's, like, been through it too. And the other part would be, and I'm really terrible at this, but, like, accepting help and, like, letting people help you with, like, your kids or whatever it is. Like, my coworkers, like, they did a meal train for me, like, twice a week for 5 months, and, and it was actually the greatest thing ever because like, when I was going through chemo, like, I used to, like, I mean, I like to cook now, but and I like to cook before cancer, but, like, during treatment, I didn't wanna do shit. Like, I didn't wanna cook, I didn't wanna do anything, so, like, just accepting help is, like, really good. Um, and then I think, like, post-treatment and I remember somebody telling me and this is, like, the benefit of having, like step 1 is, like, find a community, I feel like, and then accept the help, and then, the step 2 is, like, it was somebody that was probably, like, a year ahead of me, and I remember her telling me that the year after treatment is gonna be the hardest year. And I was just like and she was like, I was, like, drinking too much, and I just, like, was not taking care of myself. I was just overly stressed out and thinking cancer was gonna come back. I was not taking care of myself like I should, and like, looking back, I was like, "Yep. Yep, that year after was, like, really hard." So I think it's really important, especially just to note, like, right when treatment ends and, like, you just go to, like, every couple month appointments or whatever, like, it's okay to, like, not be the same person that you were. Like, it is okay to, like, build somebody new. Like, you don't have to be the same person. You're not it's too hard, right? And it's really hard. I think for the longest time, I had a hard time connecting with, like, regular people because I
Yeah.
was like, you don't get it. You don't know what I've been through." And so I just, like, really, like, leaned into that community at that time and then just gave myself a little bit of grace of, like, I kinda knew it was gonna be a shit year. It was a shit year. But, like, just it's okay. It's okay. Like, again, kind of sitting in the shit and, like, going through the shit. Um, and, like, being this far out, like, I don't know, I say also celebrate everything. I celebrate, the day I got diagnosed. I'll still, like, post and share about the day I finished chemo. I will get myself probably the little cake for November 1st to celebrate
Yeah.
my 4 years cancer-free. So, like, I think it's really important to celebrate, like, the milestones as you go along. Um, and then other things right now, I mean, it's for me, it's really helpful to just keep sharing about it. Like, I know a lot of people are like, "You're 4 years out, like, why do you still talk about it?" I'm like, "Well, it impacts me, right?" Like, every time I go to the doctor, I still get really scared. So I think it's okay to, like, still talk about it and, like, feel those same feelings when they come up, um, because I think it's important that people know that, like, it doesn't end. I doesn't get to end. I don't get to pretend like I didn't have cancer. Like, it never ends for me. I have to live with this for the rest of my life.
That's all so valuable, and that's why I also really wanted to talk to you through this because I love the way that you approach it. It's part of your story. It's not like, "Okay, I did that, let's move on," and, like,
Yeah,
ignore that that ever happened. It's part of your story forever, so
yeah, yeah. It's like a big like, and I mean, I know people who and there's no wrong way to, like, process a cancer diagnosis. Some people that I met really early on have just like, you would never know. Like,
Mhm.
they don't ever, like, talk about it, and some people talk about it every day, and, like, there's no right way to, like, process what you've gone through. It's just, like, whatever feels comfortable for you, but I just I think the biggest thing for me is, there's so many people that come support you when you're diagnosed, um, and then they trickle off, right? And then, like, that year after was so hard, that, thank God I had, like, my cancer community because I don't know what I would have done without them. But it doesn't end. Like, I get it goes on, the fear lingers, it stays, and we just get to deal with that. Not to mention all of the fun side effects from medicine.
Right. Right. Everybody, I would assume, is, like, very well-intended when they are, learning about what
Yeah,
you're going through and trying to
yeah.
support you. What would you like other people to know? What not to do?
I
What
think oh,
is
man.
appreciated?
Like, and again, that's gonna vary by person,
Sure,
but, like,
sure.
for me, food was great. I loved food. I got a lot of gifts, and I had I have had have still have the same coworkers, but, I've, like, switched jobs at my company. Um, but, like, I got a lot of gifts that were, like, amazing, and I'm so grateful, for, like, all of that support. I would say, like, for me, like, when everybody that said, like, you got this," I would always be like, "Yeah, I know." Like, "I got cancer, yep, I know." I'd just be like, "Stop saying you got this." And I'd
Yeah.
just be like, "Ah." Um, because it's like there's nothing you can do with that statement, so, like, for me, it was almost better to, like, go to lunch with somebody and talk about something else. Like, I
Mhm.
just didn't really wanna talk about cancer with the people. I wanted to just be like, "Okay, like, Yeah, let's just pretend. Let's talk about something, like, tell me about your life. Tell me, like, something normal. Like, tell me something good that's going on. So for me, it was a lot of, like, if you're gonna show up, like, show up genuinely with somebody, and don't just give the and I'm guilty of it too, and I'm just be like, "Oh, what do you need?" Or like, what can I do?" And it's like, nobody knows what to say to that. Like, I literally was like, "I have no idea what I'm up against. I don't know what the fuck I need." Like, I have no idea. But you can just be there. Um, I will say that, like, my coworkers at the time, they took turns, and somebody sent me a card a week, and one lady made a handmade card and sent it to me every week for 6 months, and I was like, it was the nicest thing. I just was like, "I love her. That was so sweet." Like, they're just, like, little things like that that, like, really did it for me because it just felt you could tell that, like, they cared. Just kind of a blanket, like, "You got this," or "Keep going." I'm like, "Yep, I don't really have a choice. Gonna gonna keep going because I wanna live."
Well, yeah, right.
I was like, what do I like, what's my other option? Like, my other option is to die, so, like, yeah, I'm gonna keep going.
Yeah, I
Like,
know you could have made it really dark and awkward at that point, but okay. What kind of cake are you gonna get yourself?
I don't know. Well, my kids prefer, like, ice cream cake, so I might cave to them in that
Okay.
sense and get an ice cream cake, we'll see. But I also like ice cream cake too.
Yeah, I'm like, is there bad cake? I don't think so.
No, no. Yeah. That's one thing, my sweet tooth will, like, never go away, so
I'm a dessert girly myself. All right, Ashley. So I'm gonna ask you random questions at this
okay.
point. All
Yeah,
right.
let's
What's something that you own too many of?
fluffy blankets. We have far too many for some
I mean,
reason.
arguably, can you have too many fluffy
Like, my
blankets?
kids have, like, 5 each, I've got a few, we've got a few in the living room, like, we just have so many fluffy blankets, but they're so nice.
They're so nice. I mean, honestly, like I go to the store, I'm like, that blanket looks that
Just
thing
feels
was comfy, and I probably need to buy that, although I have 8 at home. What's your process or your inner dialogue or ritual you do before a heavy lift?
ooh, I don't know, I feel like I see people who've got, like, their, like, setups and they, like, and I've always just been like, "Go fucking lift it, just go fucking lift it, just go fucking lift it." Like, I don't know. Like, I try it's almost like it's like an out of body experience. And I'm only like, my 3rd meet is next month, and, like, I still don't even know what I'm doing, so I'm still just like, "I don't know, just go lift the weights," and I just let my coach pick the numbers, and I'm just like, "I don't know, he said to go lift it, I'm gonna go lift it."
Yeah. Also, like, in powerlifting, there's I get, like, intimidation when you get into the sport and you're like, "Oh my god, these people are so serious and they have their process and it's, like, down to this science," and you're like, I'm just here
I
lifting
know.
weights," but
I feel really bad, I don't have, like, a cool thing
no,
that I do. I just, like, go up and I'm just like, "Okay, I don't know, just"
I love that. There's no listen, just like anything, there's no right or wrong way, and just saying, go lift that fucking weight" is I love that. You're doing it. So,
it's fun.
where is your next meet?
It's here in St. Louis at Output Performance, so it's the Beer City Classic, so
Okay, in November? Nice. Okay, I'm gonna have to look it up. Maybe I'll swing by.
okay.
Um, is there a food combination that others would consider weird, but you really like?
I'm not the most adventurous food person, admittedly.
Okay.
I mean, there are things that I don't like that people are, like, really appalled when I say that I don't like them, like, I don't like peanut butter, and everybody's like, "What?" I'm like,
I am
I
also
don't.
appalled.
I like peanuts, but I don't like peanut butter. I don't know, I can't explain it.
You know that when you eat peanuts, it turns to peanut butter in your mouth.
But it tastes different. It tastes so different.
Okay, that's okay. Is there another thing that's appalling like that? Peanut butter. I'm appalled.
I don't eat seafood either. I know, and
Any.
that's mm-mm.
Okay.
And I try
I
I've I
I know a
just
lot of people that are like that, but I also am appalled when people don't eat seafood, so
yeah.
it's okay.
I mean, I'll try, like, when I was in Belize, like, there was some, like, fresh fish that people had caught that day, and I was like, "Oh, man, that's pretty good." But, like,
Okay,
generally speaking, I'm never gonna, like, eat a fish.
okay, that's fair. But you'll try things?
I'll try things.
Okay, we love
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Great. Okay. That was a good turnaround to that question. What's something you love now that younger you hated?
Taking baths? I love taking baths. I actually might have liked them when I was a kid, I don't know. Sleeping, naps, like, I don't know why, but and I think it's a hormonal thing for sure, but, like, the lack of, like, estrogen sleep is, like, an elusive thing, and so, like, if I can get a good sleep, I am so happy.
Yeah. Yeah, that is a yeah, the hormone aspects and sleep are very related, but it's funny how when we get older, all the, like, downtime stuff that we hated, we love now.
Yeah. I just like my quiet, like, loud noises, I'm like, "Eh." It's feeling such an old now.
Oh my god. So if you were gonna set up a bath for yourself, what would your setup be?
Um, I mean, I don't have anything fancy right now, I'd probably
Okay.
just play some music and, like,
Okay.
I mean, I would get a glass of wine if I have any wine handy and
Bubbles?
no,
Oh, okay.
I'm pretty
Okay.
basic.
That like, that makes it way easier for sure. So,
Mhm.
okay, and the last question, what does doing cool shit mean to you?
I mean, to me, I think it means just getting outside of your comfort zone. Um, Ironically enough, there's, like, this magnet I got probably, like, a few months before I got diagnosed, and it said, "Life begins at the end of your comfort zone," and little did I fucking know, like, how so fucking far out of my comfort zone I was gonna be. So just, like, doing shit that like, saying yes, doing whatever you want, really. It's just doing whatever you want, trying new things, like and for me, also lifting heavy weights, like, I think that's pretty cool shit, and, I don't know, it's fun.
It is fun. Yeah, what it with lifting weights, what are some of the ways that that makes you feel lifting heavy?
Um, I mean, for me being, like, 5'2" and, like, a little person, it just makes me feel, like, bigger than I am, like, it makes me feel a little bit more mighty than I am, um, and it also, like, powerlifting is, like, one of the only you'll laugh at this, but, like, after I finished radiation, like, tried to go back to CrossFit, and I got, like, lymphedema, and
Ugh.
they were, "No, you really shouldn't do CrossFit anymore," and then I had a coach that was like, "I don't know, have a fitness whole face," and so I, like, tried cycling and, like, all of these different things, and then I've, like, landed on powerlifting, but it's, like, the only thing that doesn't hurt my body, like, it's pain, it makes you sore, but, like, it doesn't, like, flare up my radiated side, and, like, it's just it feels good, I feel strong, like, I feel like it makes me feel powerful. I love it.
I love that. I love it. All right, amazing. Thank you so much
Yay!
for
Sure.
joining and having this conversation. I loved it. Tell everyone how to get in touch with you, how to get involved, plug your
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. So the website is rebuildabee.org. And then we are Rebuild a Bee on Instagram and Facebook. We award scholarships up to 500 for women to either get mental health coaching or intimacy coaching. So any donation helps. We sometimes, gyms will host like a fundraising workout or like any little thing helps, right? Like we're open to whatever, to partnering. And like this month, also if you go to Hello Playground, or playground.com, they have, if you buy Miracle Melts, which are moisturizing suppositories, they're donating a portion of their sales to us this month. So there are lots of little things to do. So
Cool. Well, I will get all that info from you and put that in the show notes as well. So it's just all you guys got to do is click.
Awesome.
So Ashley's up to cool shit. Go check it out. Go get involved if you want to. Definitely give a follow. So
Yeah. Awesome.
thanks,
Thank you for having
Ashley.
me. I appreciate it.
Yes. Well, we'll catch up in the future too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome.
Sounds good.
All right, guys. Catch you next time.